Hi there, my name's Jason Williams, and in this video I'm going to extend on, improve further the sound in my old 80 series Land Cruiser. So in a previous video you might have seen me mount these speakers and trims in all four doors, and but it's fine, the sound's good, but I want a bit more bass. So just over there is a amp and all the bits I need. And in this video I'm going to install that amp, or that sub, with the amp that's inside it, together as one unit in the back seat area. Not this back seat. But alright, so I'm going to grab the camera and I'll show you what I've got over there. Alright, and so this is the sub. It's a 12-inch Rockford Fosgate subwoofer. And on the end you'll see this is where the electrics go, and so your power, remote. It's fused, and also there's other spot for the audio that goes in. I can't remember where that was. I should look around for that. Might be the other side. But oh, there. That's where the audio goes in. There's levels I can adjust, things I can do, and I'll go around here. You know, it's all sealed with a sub in it, and it's not carpet, so I can sort of be a bit rough with that. And this is what I've got to go with it. So I've got, you know, some cable, Curry tube. That's a signal cable for the amp. A large fuse for the power. The audio cable. There's a level adjuster and a few other bits and pieces that go with it. And a couple of copper lugs. And I'm going to install that today now. Yes, let's begin. And so, test, you know, I'm just sitting it here in place at the moment, because I don't know how long the cords and everything are going to end up. But the most suitable spot is right there. It sits in nice. It doesn't, like, you know, doesn't ride up on anything. Just there. And it sits in firm, and so I've got to you know, the electrics and the cables run just behind here, which is okay because the compressor's sort of there, and it should be fairly neat. And it's not going to be something I lift out and in very often. I mean, I will do, but and I've got to make a strap for it to hold it in, sort of. I mean, it's gonna, with everything around it, it's gonna be locked in anyway. But I will make a mount, but not in this video. I won't quite have time. So now I'm just going to, you know, that's sitting there. That's going to do what I want it to do. And now I've got to pull the head unit out, and or actually first I'll prep the cables, and then I'll you know, pull the head unit out and go in the back of that, and I'll show you that one. All right. As for you know, preparing these cables. I just, you know, I've got an audio lead to get a signal across there. My gosh, everything's gonna fight with me today. And excuse me, the fan might have been really loud as I was putting that sub in there, because I mean, I have turned the fan off to record this because it is so noisy. It's noisier than me talking, so as you no doubt will have heard. All right, and so prepping this, I've got a piece of signal wire. Hopefully it's around about the same length. It's going to go... I did have these cut and sort of measured, and like, oh yeah, that's about right, that's about right. Yep, that'll do. And so what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of tape on them, hold them together, and then I'll put the Curry tube over the top of it. I'll do that every, you know, probably 500 mil, or, you know, probably 300, 400 mil. I'll just whack a little bit of tape on there. That'll help keep it together while I whack the Curry tube over the top. And then go back to that lead end where I started, and begin putting this cory tube on. And thread it down. Alright, well here's to hoping that that fan's not too loud. It's around the other side, so it should be okay. Take the ashtray out. I've removed this dash so many times in the past. I should know exactly how to do it, right? Alright. So with that very loosely out of there, it's very it's almost stressful looking in the back of this, because it's like, oh no, look at all the wires. It's ugly. So what I'll do is undo the head unit, and I should be able to get the head unit just to sit out enough so I can get to the back of it, because I don't want to unplug these wires if I don't have to. Everything's going to catch on the way out. Alright, that should be enough for me to feed the cables, the audio leads. And I've got to look at these cables. One should say remote. Connect, remote. Stereo remote input, P connect, antenna connect. That's the antenna. That's a mute for some reason. To reverse cable, part switch. Okay, gotta go all through these one by one to work out which one is it. Remote connection. Steering wheel remote input. Power connect, antenna connect. So it's for the radio, it's a mute. One should be the amp remote. The reverse, yes, you are. USB cables. Alright. Well, it's going to take me a while to figure out which one's which, so I'll get back to you when I'm feeding the wires in. This is all I'm going to be able to do. Being that I thought I had, but I didn't have, so I think that's the right one. Alright, that'll have to do it. Now it's just a reverse. I'll reinstall. I've got the cables fed up through, but I'll just put this back in. I won't record this bit, just slowly installing it. And but I'll get back to feeding the wire, because I'm going to have to come up with something for that, feeding the wire underneath. Right. Alright, so I've installed the stereo back in, the plugs back together. That's all connected, and so far I've just got this wire running under there, and what I'm gonna do is remove the seat, because that's the next step. I'll remove this seat and start running these cables. Right, being able to have a much better look in here, you can see how our cables, it's going to run underneath this console, and down the back here to that sub, it's pushed to the side. I removed the seat, so I can get to the electrics, to power feed, and a fuse it's all going to attach in here. So that's the next spot is, I'll finish just pushing that under. That looks pretty simple, not much to it. And yeah, then I'll start doing the electrics. Alright, so prepping the cables, actually making the cables. I don't have to put a piece of heat shrink just yet. This one's got to go over a 10mm lug, which I'll show you shortly installing it. And I'll just put these over. It says it's 16mm cable, but I've been crimping the other ones at 10, but I'll do the first crimp at 16mm squared, and the next one at 10mm squared. But that, I don't know if that makes sense to you or not. So I just put this little davy in here and crimp the first bit down, 2 spots. Oop. My gosh, you can see 16mm squared is definitely not enough. Pulled straight out. So the next one is 10mm squared. I don't think that's even tight enough. Here we go again. Next size down, which is 6. I know what I'll do, because that's a bit dramatic. I'll leave one at 16 and do one at 6. That should do it. Yep. Cut off a piece of heat shrink. This is resin cord or dual walled, however you want to say it. Heat shrink. Doesn't fit over that end, so that's okay. It's a bit warm today. I'm working out here, no aircon, the fan switched off for the camera, but it's like 45 degrees, so that's a little bit warm. Do a bit of heat shrink. As you can see, the glue present all the way around. That is a sealed connection. Alright, and then the other end will be for the to go onto the fuse. And I've been having the best luck with these side cutters, but I haven't had a very sharp. Been used to cut all sorts of things, I think. And the next ones are these, which will go onto the fuse. My goodness. Sweat pouring off me before I get too carried away. Make sure I put on that piece of heat shrink. Even though the heat shrink could fit over the end of that one for sure. Go straight away and do the first crimp at 10, I think. That one seemed a bit tighter, but I'll still take 1 to 6, just to make sure get a good amount of grip on there. Yep, because I've got that bit of heat shrink already on there. Yeah, that would have fit straight over. Got a bit carried away, but oh well. Never mind. Alright, excuse all the crazy mass sweating. I'll now record installing this to the other piece that's already there, and you'll get a rough idea on what's going on with it. Cool. Alright, so as you see, the earth cable I've already done. I was just rushing around trying to make the most of being able to use the fan. I mean, the fan's off at the moment, but it's quite warm. And so what I do is go into, this is where the actual cables are. Better get this done as quick as possible because I'm starting to overheat again. Starting to get a bit warm. Flip that up that way. Put the washers back on. I wasn't sure if I was going to get into these because they've been there a few years and find them a bit corroded and whatnot, but all seems good. Alright, and then tape it all back up again. Yay. This insulation tape's pretty good. It's called Temflex by 3M 1610. Temflex 1610. Seems to stick really well. It's not the best way to conduct electricity using a bolt. You know, it's not. I'll get a bit of voltage drop through this connection, but everything else is oversized, so I should be okay. Possibly. That's that bit done. And put the big piece of curry tube back over the nut, over the bolt, sorry, and then seal it further with this tape. It's just if you're at all interested, I'm really hot. It's like 45. Wow. I haven't been in this heat for a while. So this is taking its toll on me a bit, you know. I'm making sure I'm drinking a fair bit of water. But I've also got to remember not to work like a crazy bit like I am now. I'm seeming like you know, fast, flat out, going, oh yep, trying all this up. The only reason I'm going so fast is there's no fan on, and I want to get this done as quick as possible so I can turn the fan back on. And I can't use the fan while recording because it's that noisy. So you see this, I'm just going to tape all this up, and then I'll introduce you to the next step. Once I've finished taping it up, neaten it back up again, then I'll go through and connect the power and the audio to the sub, and then that'll just about be time to test the sub. That would be cool. I can't wait for that. Alright, so I've done that in, haven't neatened it all up yet, like, you know, attached it all in place. And this is the audio cable coming through, and I've cut them so that they're both the same length. They'll come around here. And so that being that the power cable and the audio cable are the same length, like when they're joined together there at the seat, means I can put that sub where it is, or up on this. Depending on what I'm doing, I can move it around and have it in different places and doing different things. So, and you know, even then maybe I'll use these little straps to hold it down when it's up here, and oh no, I figured it out. So now I'm going to attach the power end and the other little bits to this, and fit it in, and I'll it's getting a little bit crammed in here, but I should be able to record that. That should be right. There we go. All right, them stripped off. Just twitch them a little bit. Now for this guy, and it came, you know, the kit, the whole sub came with its little own Allen key and everything, which is brilliant. I'll install the negative first, which is fairly clearly indicated, and then the signal wire, which is to remote turn it on, so that it will turn on as the stereo turns on. That way this sub's not just draining power for no reason, which is maybe I might try to get all these lengths exact first. We'll get some tape and see if we can run that starting at this end, because it's going to cinch up. I think it's going to attach to those, and that, yeah, you're going to attach to them. So I'll go there. Now I've got to find the end of the tape. Right there. I'll use some cable ties after this, some small ones, to make it a bit neater. A bit neater. This is just temporary. I've gone a bit overkill with this cable, but as I explained, according to voltage drop that I'm likely to get. All right, that's the power side done. Now I've just got to organise the audio cables, which are just there. That goes on like that. These guys plug on here like so. And then this one plugs into the sub box. And then I've just got to neaten them a little bit. And then it'll be time to test before I put the seat in. I'll test it, I'll make sure everything does what it's meant to do, because I'd hate to get this far along and crazy. I'd hate to get this far along and have it fail. Or have something not quite right, so I need to make sure. Now that is it. I'll run it up, and then what I'm going to do is, while I'm running it up, I'm going to play around with this. I don't know that I even need this. I don't think I do. The level adjuster. I think there's just a remote for a level adjuster, because it's got the level and volume on the side of this as well. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is run it up, put it just there, run it up, see how it sounds. Alright, so it works. Wow, cool. It pumps. Yeah, I'm going to really enjoy this. It's playing right now. I'll pause it, because I mean, I know the sound won't come across properly on this video. It's not going to sound exactly right, but it pumps. It sounds so good. But yes, like again, I'm sick of sweating. My next job, thankfully, I'm not recording, because I'll be servicing the car, and I've already done a video servicing this car, this old Land Cruiser. So I've just got to do that, and that's going to see me out for the rest of the day. And but yeah, thank you so much for watching. I can't believe I've put a sub in this. I thought I never would. I never thought I would do something like this, but I've made it sort of usable. And I've got to put the seat back in yet, and sort of just play with the different spots it can sit. Because of the length of the lead, I've made it so I can move it around a bit. You'll see here. I mean, not that you can see much. I'm going to just, sort of shine it down there, but you still, you can get the gist that, I'm going to move it around, and I know where it's probably going to stay, which is right up against those seats, which would be great. But at the same time, I can put it on the other shelf if I don't have other things. And of course, I always travel differently, and you've probably seen that in some other videos I do. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will aspire to see you in the next one. Cheers. Ta.